So the title of my paper is called The Excessive Use of Force in Public Order Policing. It looks at Americana and global trends towards remilitarization in policing services. And ultimately what I'm going to argue is that with remilitarized or militarized police forces, we see an excessive use of force. And the appropriate model that we should be following specifically in South Africa is a community-centered police service approach. Ultimately, what we did is I worked at the Americana Commission, and in studying a lot of the research of policing experts, we saw that with a remilitarized or militarizing police service, we often see excessive use of force. And what we hope to achieve, what I hope to achieve in making this argument is showing that with militarization, we have excessive use of force. And during the period 1994 to about 2008, we embarked on a process of demilitarization. During that period, there was relative calm within South African public order policing, and that's the approach we need to readopt going forward in post-Americana. It was hard work, it was long hours, it was often very difficult to work out in Rustenburg when the commission was based there. But I think for me, what was one of the important points that started to come through at the commission was early on we see a narrative where we have an aggressive group of armed protesters who are actively seeking to attack the South African police service. I think in and around the time of the cross-examination of Ria Piega and the introduction of articles such as Americana and the Doctrine of Maximum Force by David Bruce, we start to see a change in narrative, and we start to see the commission and the public starting to question what actually happened in Americana and the extent and the appropriateness of the force that was used by the South African Police Service. So I think for me, one of the key turning points and what was very important was for this change in narrative to try alter the story and to show that it wasn't these aggressive protesters actively attacking the police, but there was this possibility that there was a police overreaction and the use of excessive force. And again, coming back to what I'll speak about today, I think that is effectively the end result of this remilitarization process that started in and around 2008 and ultimately ends at Americana, where we have the public order police deployed alongside elite and specialized policing units armed with R5 rifles. And I think that's what we see in crowd gathering and crowd management. We need a specialized public order policing unit. We have that. But at Americana, we've had 4 additional specialized units deployed. And for me, that was highly problematic for command and control. We had different commanders in these 5 units. And ultimately, that led to miscommunication and the devastating event at Americana. Ultimately, at this stage, we have the public order police who are generally not deployed with lethal weapons. But the South African Police Service allows the deployment of the tactical response team to work in tandem with the public order police. They should only be used in exceptional circumstances, but oftentimes the tactical response team are deployed with lethal weapons, which for me is highly problematic in crowd management situations. So I think there is a correlation. I think we have a multiplicity of protests in South Africa, and we're not handling them appropriately yet. I mean, a recent example would be the deployment of the South African National Defence Force in public order operations. And for me, that is highly concerning conduct. I mean, we have a defence force who are skilled. I mean, they're military. And they're being deployed, again, alongside public order police. And for me, there are some serious difficulties with, again, command and control and the different functions that the police and the military have in these types of circumstances.